Hello everyone, this is Mark, and I like to call this the modern age. And why do I call this the modern age? Well, I guess I thought it was clever in alluding to traditional ways media are consumed. The Age is a fine, upstanding institution within Australian media, and the way people will be consuming media going forward. And so this is a perfect episode for me to give a quick little update on what my initial thoughts to this episode were. So I'm going to watch it again, and I'm going to make videos about it tomorrow and give more in-depth thoughts. But my first reaction was, where were the millennials on stage? Where were the people who were willing to criticize and give a different point of view on stage tonight? So I love the ABC, I love QandA, and I absolutely see the value in mainstream media and traditional media models, and I think ABC in general does a great job of being outside that model. But tonight's episode, we had some millennials and we had some people who questioned the value of the traditional media model from the audience, slightly, but we had a panel full of people who didn't really get it, and they were all talking about echo chamber, liberal bias, the dangers of social media. Nobody once really brought up the limitations of the current media model. In fact, they were all largely in agreement that the traditional media model seemed almost infallible. One person in particular, the oldest person on the panel, was way behind the traditional model. And if you are watching that, and there's going to be a lot of people watching that who just do not understand, this fake news phenomenon. They do not understand how one might question the credibility of mainstream news. And again, I love the ABC, and it's so important. But it would have been really enlightening had they knew in advance what this topic was going to be about, what the episode was going to be about. Have on some millennials, even just one, have on a far right person, have on a far left person. There would have been some explosive discussion. It would have been fantastic. I would have loved to have seen it. It would have been a way better episode. And it would have really helped, especially the people who traditionally might watch Q&A, who never really question their assumptions that go into their media consumption, to really start to understand the reason why people are leaving traditional media sources. And one of the reasons why traditional media sources in Australia are doing so much better compared to, say, America, is there's not enough online representation of news. So that's kind of what I want to contribute. I want to be able to provide a different point of view, watching the watchdogs, all that kind of stuff, and I want to encourage more online news in Australia that isn't just clips taken from the mainstream news. So, yeah, it was a good episode. There was a lot of nuanced discussion. It wasn't very fiery. There was very little disagreement, and there just wasn't enough diversity. So, I mean, this is always a risk with Q&A. They try to have a balanced panel, but I think it would have been really both entertaining, and it would have been such a valuable service to a lot of the viewers of Q&A to just sort of have, I'm plugging myself here, put me on the panel, put somebody like me on the panel, put somebody who's a disciple of Chomsky on the panel, put somebody who represents the old right on the panel. Imagine how interesting that episode of Q&A would be. Imagine what the ratings would be like. Imagine what the online representation would have been like afterwards. Who would have been talking about this show? It would have been fantastic. But instead we got rather droll, rather dour. Everybody was basically in consensus. We need to follow the integrity. We need to support traditional news and the integrity of the institutions of journalism. Nobody brought up the Overton window of what is presented as acceptable political discourse at any one time, and nobody tried to challenge that. And that's what I would have liked to have seen. So I'm going to try and put up some videos tomorrow, analyzing it more in depth after I've watched the episode again, but this is just my quick thoughts on what I would have liked to have seen about this Q&A. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, comment, let me know if you see this episode. It's all good. Thank you.